football is finally back, right? I mean, technically, it's week 2 of the preseason, the way the NFL sees it, but it's technically a lot of our teams' first time actually playing. Gentlemen, I mean, what do you guys feel? I mean, long time coming.
Hey, man, hey, it's preseason football. A couple standout players that I'm sure we all gonna get into. Kicked it off Thursday night with my team, the Patriots, going up against Texans. Number one overall pick, the second overall pick, C.J. Stroud, and Will Anderson. Stroud, I mean, for his first live game match other than preseason and training camp, other than training camp with Texans, not as sharp. But hey, man, you're going up against a Bill Belichick defense who feasts off young quarterbacks. Hey, you can't really expect too much from that. Will Anderson showed a couple impressive pass rushes against that horrible Patriots offensive line, second string offensive line. So I mean, I know it wasn't the starters, but man, if any of our guys get hurt, it's gonna be ugly there up there in Foxborough. But we get to that in a few. But other than that, that's what really stood out to me, man. It's a game going on right now, Kansas City and the Saints.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and let me talk about those games, right? So far, what we've seen Texans, Patriots, that was 29, Vikings, Seahawks, 13-24, Steelers, 27, to the Buccaneers, 17, Falcons, 19-3 on these Dolphins. Um, Packers versus Bengals, that was 36-19. Giants versus Lions, that was 16-21. Lions got the victory on that one. Commanders versus Browns, 17-15. Commanders had that one. The Broncos, the Broncos lost to the Cardinals, right? And that was 17-18. So that was actually a very close game. And then we had the Titans versus Bears. That was 17-23. Bears took that one. And then the Colts lost to the Bills, 23-19. The Jets 27-0. That was crazy over the Panthers. And then the Jaguars 28, Cowboys 23. Eagles lost to the Ravens. Now the Ravens have gone 24 straight preseason
24
games.
straight, man. That's
Wow,
crazy.
that's a really great
That's
accomplishment.
incredible,
Right?
man. We was just
I
talking
mean,
about that the other day. Like that,
It go
that
it
breeds
goes to
expectations of winning, though.
it goes to show you the depth of that team and the talent and how serious they take the draft and just developing players or what. That's what it goes to show you. Good job there by the Baltimore Ravens. That's like what, about 5 or 6 years, ain't it?
it feels like it. I think
Yeah.
Yeah.
this is like the fifth season, I believe. And then let me see, just to kind of round out this, it's the Chargers defeat the Rams 34-17, and like right now we see the Chiefs are currently playing the Saints, and that's 24-17. 2 minutes left in the fourth, and then we'll see the 49ers versus the Raiders, right? How did Berman say it? How did he say it? I don't know. It's kind of hard to get it down, but that will be the last game. So I love how the NFL orchestrates all of these. But gentlemen, out of these games, I mean, which one really stood out to you guys? I mean, it's hard. I know I've been glued to NFL Network like crazy.
For me, now I'm not necessarily so many games that stood out to me, but just kind of watching the players that we kind of figured, hey man, this player's going to be good, or running back, receiver, whatever. Now I'm starting to think that maybe, just maybe, this might be one of the better drafts that we've seen in a long time overall, because there are some talented players that I saw, Izzy from the Jets, the rookie running back, Tank Dell from the Texans, Johnson from the Charger, like we a lot of people might be wrong on this draft when the dust settles 3 years from now, that this might have been one of the more talented. Obviously, it's still early, but it looks pretty good right now, man. So that's what my kind of outlook on everything.
Well said. Well said. Well, any takeaways from
Yeah.
these preseasons
Uh,
so far?
yeah, I think coaching matters. I always felt coaching did matter, but I think it matters now even more than ever. And that also, there's some positions that are just easier to play when you come into the league. Not easier to play, but it's easier for you to kind of hit the ground running, especially if the coaching is correct and you're put in the right scheme. And I go to the Detroit Lions Giants game. You got a guy like Brian Branch. He gets drafted by the Detroit Lions. Now, Chauncey Gardner wasn't there when they drafted him, but he was brought in a few weeks after that. But he's walked into a room now where there's Chauncey Gardner, there's Tracy Walker, there's Kirby Joseph, who was a late round pick a year ago, who led the team in interceptions. He's in a situation now where he can comfortably transition into what he does best, which is kind of play that Joker role, roam around the box, inside, outside, run contain. He's easy, his speed fast enough. You saw what he did against the Giants. So I think it's not just always, especially with the quarterbacks, we have a tendency to really overreact. Oh, he was 6 for 7 in his first game. Oh, he was 7 for 18. Oh, he was this, he was that. It's quarterback. And it's the toughest position to play on the field. I don't know what we really expect out of quarterbacks in the very first game. But you look at guys like Jack Campbell, linebacker, off-ball linebacker, see-ball, track ball. Everything was simplified scheme-wise for Jack Campbell, and Jack Campbell played well the other night for Detroit. Brian Branch played well for Detroit because his role was defined and the coaching was there. So I think also there's a lot of the shabby coaching is getting out of the league now. I think there's better coaching going on now than we have seen in previous years. And also the offensive line play. And I wanted to piggyback off what Kendall said about his offensive line because after our offensive line, the first unit, it stinks. And it got exposed against the Giants horribly.
I think it goes
run
to
game
show you.
and pass protection. And me and Ashanti was just saying during the game. Yep.
Yeah, I think it goes
Yeah,
to
it
show
was
you
just
there's not a whole lot of quality.
it was
offensive
bad
line
because
in
it
the league.
happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of upper echelon talent, and then there's a lot of middle of the road guys, but also linemen get injured a lot, man. They do. And that's why it's important to have that depth. Even as great as our offensive line was in 2022, we still had a bunch of injuries. We just happened to have the right swing guys who could step in, play some guard, play some tackle, maybe play some center if you really need them in a pinch. But most teams don't luck up like that on a season-to-season basis. So like I get what Kendall was saying. We were discussing in the group chat about like the offensive line. Just because it was good the year before doesn't mean it's going to be the same the following year. You need a lot of health issues to be kind of eradicated also to have that type of success. And we had that success because we had the right guys. But right now it's not looking like that. But I think offensive line play and the depth is a kind of a concern right now in the league.
Well said. Well said. Kendall, I know you want to add a little piece to that, a little twist to
Yeah,
it.
it just goes to show you real quick. Just want to say, like, after your first unit, there's not a lot of good backup tackles or linemen and all in the league. And I seen a post on Twitter the other day. I want to say from Reed, works at ESPN or whatnot. I was like, it's not a lot of quality. After that, like, look at the Patriots offensive line. Like, that was a disaster. That was pathetic. You know what I mean? And you can't really expect nothing. Like, and who suffered from the most? The skill position players and the skill position players and the running backs. We can't even assess how Pierre Strong or Kevin Harris look or Keyshawn Boutte look, Taquan Thornton look, because the offensive line won't hold up. Can you at least give me 2 seconds to block to get the ball out? 3 seconds. They won't even getting that for crying out loud. So I mean, it was kind of bad, man. And not just the Patriots. There's a lot of offensive line, and it goes to show you like that position, like that. What's available right now? That's not a lot of guys that's available right now that can block really. No, you think blocking is easy? It's not. I think it's easier to play guard than tackle.
You know what's funny about that? And you mentioned that, man. If you look at like historically the great tackles in NFL history, there's not a whole entire lot of them. If you look at other positions like wide receiver, there's tons of them. There's tons of cornerbacks. There's tons of running backs. But when you think about those that tackle position, you think about guys like Walter Jones, Orlando Pace, Jonathan Ogden, Willie Roaf. Outside of those guys and a few other guys, out of respect, names may be slipping my mind right now. But there's not a whole lot of them. There's a lot of quality guys, Joe Thomas as well. But there's not a whole lot of great ones. Just it shows you how difficult it is to find a guy that's 6'5", 315 that can move the way you need him to move to be a tackle. Because think about how many 6'7", 315, 330 guys we see littered around these NFL rosters right now that are guys that are like literally the 50th man on the roster. We got a couple of them on Detroit. It's difficult. You guys had Tyron Smith. You struck it big with Tyron Smith. But, it's hard to really find those guys. We've seen a lot of those tackles taken high in the draft become busts. There's a lot of them.
It's definitely something that we're noticing, right? Especially with the league. I think the league is more transitioning to an offensive tackle that can play guard, vice versa, a guard that can play tackle. Hence, like Rashawn Slater. I mean, not like what you said, 6'5", a little bit under 6'5", not the biggest arms, but very effective blocker. And if you need him, he can play guard, a la Cowboys with a Tyler Smith. He did an excellent job at left tackle and playing at left guard. I think that he has a great future. So yeah, we're starting to see a trend definitely with the offensive line, but definitely especially your offense is as strong as your offensive line is, right? So that's one thing that we were learning. But let's move along, right? Because we do have a special guest on today. Uh, he goes on by the name of Billy Reagins right here. Let's bring him on. And look, Dwight Thrasher says, "What's up, guys? What's going on, Dwight?" Billy, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Blessed to be here. Blessed to be here with y'all on this fine Sunday.
Good having you.
We are definitely but if you can, let's get allow our audience to get to know you.
Yes, sir. Uh, can you repeat that again? I'm sorry. He kind of went in and out. Can you repeat that question, boss man?
Yeah, I was saying, if you could help our audience get to know you a little
Oh,
bit better.
of course. Yes, sir. My name is Billy Reagins. It's good meeting y'all. I hope y'all having a great and blessed fine Sunday. Play running back. Got some film out there. I'm here joining these amazing guys here on East West Football. Blessed to be here once again. I'm from Houston. Recently just finished some arena football for the Southwest Kansas Storm. I finished top 5 in all-purpose yards, top 5 rushing yards, and I was the only running back in all-purpose yards. Looking forward to going into one of these big spring leagues and making another mark and just keep growing and building from there and hopefully end up having y'all talk about me. So, talking about my gameplay.
Yes, sir. Yes,
I'm
sir.
here
Hey,
joining y'all
Billy.
today, and I'm blessed once again. And I like the input on all y'all teams and everything. And y'all run a great show. So I hope the people tune in.
Yes, sir. Hey, Billy. Are you just trying to get into the NFL or any league right now? I know I know you got USFL, XFL, CFL. You just want to get your foot into it anywhere, right?
Yes, sir. Of course.
Okay. What is and what your long term would be the NFL, correct?
Of course.
Who's one of your favorite running backs in the league right now that you look up to?
Favorite running back in the league that I look up to? I ain't gonna lie, like game changer wise, Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs, he a dog mentality wise. Derrick Henry was hurt, so that's really my guy. But Josh Jacobs stepped up. He stepped up in a big way for the Raiders. Your starting quarterback, pretty much on the outs. Your receiver, Devontae Adams, he taking 2 to 3 with him. It's 3rd and 2. You in the AFC going against some of the best run defenses in the league, and for him to come out and perform and keep the Raiders relevant, honestly, and honestly finish out top rushing. And the way he go through contact, I ain't gonna lie, as much as everybody loved the NFL for being a passing game, I'm a big fan of the AFC for this reason, due to the fact that like there be games where it's down and gritty. And the reason we really love football is like we love that physical, empowering will to move another man 5 yards down the field or go through somebody. And I look up to his game because it's 3rd and 2. You going against either the Ravens, the Bills, you got the Chiefs, some of the top run defenses, great coaches. They scheme up against you, and you able to pull off 200 yards. You able to end the game in overtime on a simple dive. First, they got a whole script. I know they had a whole script going in overtime because that first play they was probably just trying to get some yards. I ain't gonna lie, he took it all the way overtime, and that I really feel like he separated himself, and hopefully he get his flowers this year and he keep continuing the ball. So Josh Jacobs definitely somebody I inspire my game after for him being a game changer and the role he played for the Raiders. So.
Yeah, I respect that. That's real because you don't hear too many people say that about Josh Jacobs, but
Nope.
Yeah,
Josh is a quality back, man. That's why I don't really knock anybody who has him rated as their top back in the league because I think at this point in time, there's not really a number one numero uno guy. You know, we went through what Adrian Peterson, he was the greatest of his era. You had guys like Marshall Falk and Edgerrin James who careers kind of overlapped or whatnot. Barry Sanders, Emmitt Smith. We don't really have that right now. We got a bunch of quality backs, and I think we had a
yes,
couple
sir.
backs that came out of this year's draft in Jameer Gibbs and Bijan Robinson, who I think both once they really get their footing going, they're gonna really cut up in the league. So I
Yes,
think
sir.
the running back position is coming back. Now will they value it financially?
I honestly feel as well that in the middle of these games, it's 18 weeks now, and I the reason I like the way this trend is going because if you really go back every 3 to 4 years, there's always something coming up about the running back not being a high value. Later on down the line, if you go and look at most recent performances in the playoffs, if the running game is good, you win in that game.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really just gonna leave it at that because if we really being honest, I kind of really hate the fact that the market has taken a toll on the running backs because the Eagles had a backup running back scoring 2 to 3 touchdowns in playoff games. Without,
Yeah.
if you go, what's his name, Galloway? It wasn't Miles Sanders. It wasn't Lil Sanders over there. He got traded.
Gainwell.
Yeah,
Kenneth Gainwell.
Kenneth
Gainwell.
Gainwell, yeah, Gainwell, that guy, I ain't gonna lie, for him to come in a big playoff game and score 2 touchdowns and finish the games out, that's not easy being a running back as much as everybody think it's cool to just get the ball and run. Nah, it's a long term game, you know. I honestly feel, and I feel like hopefully they do really realize the value of a running back, such as the great backs that pave the way, such as Adrian Peterson, Sean Alexander, Marshall Falk. Um, at one point, they had Derrick Henry on the outs in Tennessee because they didn't like the fact. I mean, I guess they didn't know how to use a bigger back. When they started realizing that some of these teams, as much as you got the best receivers and the great passing schemes, you got to go through some of them. So hopefully, it comes back to the value of not only just a running back, but more than just a quarterback and receivers. That's honest. And don't get me wrong, I was listening to y'all talk about the O line as well, and I really feel personally, me being a running back and being around a lot of offensive linemen, that position is never easy. Nothing starts without anything in them trenches. So rather you like your favorite quarterback, you like what he do when the ball in his hand. If somebody not protecting him, I promise you that's not your favorite quarterback. That's all I can say.
I mean,
You
it's your,
you love him, but if
That's
that O
right.
line ain't helping him, that ain't your quarterback. You don't know who that is.
well said, right? Well said.
For sure.
We have a little comment here. Dwight Archer says, "I think Josh Jacobs was a zero-star recruit and got noticed and was given the opportunity that you get that opportunity as well, my man." That's from
Man,
Dwight, man.
I appreciate that, Mr. Dwight. Thank you for tuning in for the show. I hope you also give the East West football and everybody right here they flowers, and I appreciate you tuning in for that. So, and as far as I've been on my journey, I appreciate that comment. I ain't gonna lie, I really do. I've been a man of faith. I've been walking by faith. I've just been grinding, working hard, doing what I can every day to improve, get better. Still being a student of the game, still learning, giving back, teaching when I can to younger kids. And hearing that comment right now, I really do appreciate that because that's a big blessing. I kind of needed that little motivation right there. So thank you, Mr. Dwight. And thank y'all once again, East West Football. Like once again, I hope they give you y'all flowers because y'all some of the most accurate and not only y'all have great facts because usually people say, "Oh, it's an opinion if it's not proven," but everything y'all talked about so far has been facts. So that's all I can say.
I want to ask you one last thing, Billy, before you get off. What is your thoughts so far of the games? I mean, of the preseason games that you're seeing right now. What do you
Okay.
like? And
I personally watching. I actually been tuning into the preseason games. My favorite unit right now for twos and threes is the Jets. Only reason, and look, as much as everybody want to say, "Oh, he's riding the jet," no, it's the way that they have a veteran quarterback that came in and made the starting quarterback last year that was supposedly a first round draft bust. But he comes in, he doesn't come in. Aaron Rodgers didn't go in there big headed or none of that. Zach Wilson was able to take the criticism, take the criticism, which is real. It comes with football. You play quarterback, but he's showing great signs of him developing his game and him being a student in that system. And he's thrown a touchdown in both games, both preseason games. And I believe that the Jets actually are. I think they pushing in the top 5, top 10 in offense right now for preseason. And another unit that I like for the 2s and 3s, the Patriots. Zap Bailey, that quarter. I ain't gonna lie, like I played with him
Exactly.
when I was little. I don't really try to throw that out there. And Rashawn Slater as well at the left tackle guard. Rashawn, he's one of the most versatile O linemen I've seen that can move his position and not lose his game changer factor. Your best defender, he can get out his position and go take your best defender out the game. Personally, I've seen it. I watched it since high school, and hearing y'all bring him up, I ain't gonna lie, that just felt good in my body because that's somebody I can really vouch for and say he worked hard for everything. So, but
Hey,
the Patriots and Jets, their 2s and 3s look solid. I'm a Raven fan. I ain't gonna lie. Like personally, I know we gonna be straight. We don't play that. We don't play none of that. Preseason. It's six seasons in. 6 seasons in.
24. You guys are 24 games straight too.
Yeah, and
Is that a record? I don't know. Is that?
yeah, it's still a streak. And a team, the 2s and 3s y'all really need to worry about, honestly, is the Cowboys.
I like that.
And
I like
I'm,
what
I'm
I'm
throwing
hearing.
that out there because I kind of train with some of them, but like seeing that first game, you can tell that they really feeling it out. And I can say the same thing about the Jets when they played the Browns the first time. They was filling it out, and that they put up 27, I believe. They put up 27 last game, and they was rolling. So once I feel like this first week, of course, you can see your 2 or 3. You can be mad at the old lineman. That's just how majority of these young rookies coming in, they learn a new system, and defense definitely does win championships. And it's easier to honestly get a defense. You can get your defense running faster than your offense. Because offense, you got to go
yeah,
through timing. You got to make sure you're getting the right man. You got to know your steps. You can't take false steps. And everything is on camera. So you cannot
yep.
go back to coach and say, Coach, I don't know what I got you right here. So,
Exactly.
and other than that, I say Jets, Patriots, Cowboys, and the Texans. Don't get me wrong, CJ Stroud, and I ain't gonna lie, like he went 2 for 4 interception, cool. But if you look at that interception, me personally, I really felt like that was a camp rep because he ain't had nobody to throw the ball to, and he threw it to Tank, and Tank been his favorite receiver at camp, and Tank is somebody if you really don't stop that momentum going, he's not only a game changer himself, but he get that team to play as well. You get your
He's
team
gonna
to
be a
play as
problem.
well, and that brings me back to Josh Jacobs. I know if Josh Jacobs get rolling, you got to put 8 or 9 in that box, and there's somebody on that outside you don't want to leave 1-on-1. He didn't cook. He didn't cook the one of the top generation corners. Killed him when he was at the Packers. Yeah, you leave him alone 1-on-1, it ain't looking too good for your best DB. And so him having that game changer factor, so I like those 2s and 3s units so far. And as far as preseason goes, really just look for the development in the O line and D line to increase tremendously due to the fact that when I kind of like really seen this, when the trenches see themselves on film, now we finna see the 2s and 3s. Like I say, week 2, week 3, you gonna see where 2s and 3s really stand. Because at that point, there's no excuses. You didn't went through camp, you didn't went through practice, you didn't been in the environment for game day, and now it's crunch time. It's either you want that roster spot or not. That's honest truth.
Well said, man. Well said. I
That's
appreciate.
authentic.
Yeah, man. I really do appreciate the explanation that you put behind it too. Right there, she said Sean Alexander. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, that was my guy on the Seahawks, man.
Yeah, yeah,
He was
yeah,
doing crazy stuff.
Yep.
Hey, he too big to run the football. Yeah, all right. Tackle.
Yeah, he was good in Madden too. I remember playing Madden.
Used to cheat with him. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah. But I guess Harv, did you have anything for Billy?
Nah, man. No, I just appreciate the insight. Obviously, you've been playing football here recently, so no. At the end of the day, man, you sound like you're a very grounded young man. Probably all the attributes you would want in any player. You're very humble, and that's the type of person I like, is being very humble and knowing if you're wrong or you're right and fixing it. I think will go a long ways in your career. So no, man, blessing to you. I hope everything you deserve comes your way, man. We're family here at East West, man. So whenever you want to jump on, for sure.
Oh yes, sir. Of course. I ain't got a problem coming back. Me personally, I like to watch y'all. Like I said, straight facts. I ain't hear nothing but straight facts so far. So I appreciate being here, and once again I hope they give y'all flowers. And y'all one of the real podcasts that know y'all football knowledge, and not only that, y'all able to express it into a way fans can really understand the game instead of just football players. So once again, I hope they give y'all flowers, and I appreciate y'all. Straight up.
How can they follow you? I mean, they want to know. I mean, everybody's always curious. So, are you on Twitter? Are you on Instagram? Are you know what I mean?
Oh, all my social media is limits_Houdini. I have all my film on there. I have everything you want to see if you really want to get to know me. I'm a people person. I ain't no big headed. I don't do none of that. You got any questions? I'm always, I'm definitely there. I'll try to answer them as much as I can. But it's limits_Houdini. That's my Twitter, IG, and then my Facebook is my name, Billy Reagins Jr. So,
We're
and
gonna
I
we're, we will all be
definitely
following you.
want to say that I will, if I can, I would love to come back. And anytime, anyway, if y'all ever need, I appreciate y'all. I never take that for granted. Never take that for granted. So I appreciate y'all bringing me on today. And I hope everybody that's watching understand that these four right here is some of the most factual, logical, anything you really want to learn about right now about football and catch you up to date on this preseason. This is the show you need to tune into. And once again, I'm very blessed and appreciative. Thank you, East West Football.
Yes, sir.
We appreciate you, Billy. Best of luck. We know. Hey, you have the right mindset, and best of luck. And we're all gonna be following you pretty soon, man. We're gonna be checking out all your
Yes,
work.
sir.
Get on there. So, and we're gonna have you back on too. So, we appreciate
Kemner.
you on, man.
Yes, sir. Have a blessed Sunday.
You too, man.
Sir.
Take it easy.
Later.
So, gentlemen, I mean, that was a great special guest that we've had. We haven't had a special guest in quite some time, but for those that are watching this on the replay, make sure you go back and show him some love, man. Go and follow him. Kind words too by that young man. But looking
Yep.
forward, gentlemen. I mean, we still got one game. It starts it looks like in what, 3 hours or so.
San Francisco Raiders.
Yeah, 2.5 hours to be exact. What do you guys want to see in this game?
Yeah. I want to see Trey Lance, see if he can push the ball down the field, show some consistency there. Where Purdy isn't playing today, so it's going to be Trey Lance the first half and Sam Darnold the second half. So I want to see a little battle there with that. I guess they're battling for the number 2 spot behind the backup spot behind Purdy or whatnot. I actually think not Purdy, but Sam Darnold. I actually thought, and I've been seeing this all season, that was a sneaky good pickup for the Niners. I really like that pickup. And I really like we've seen in the past, Shanahan could put these guys that's not just the best quarterbacks in that system with all those weapons, those running game, and they can get it going. Like they went to the NFC Championship game last year, Mr. Irrelevant, and brought Purdy. We look how far they went with Jimmy Garoppolo till he kept getting hurt. Like they've had some guys in that system, and like they just keep on getting better. So I think I actually think Sam Darnold is a sneaky pickup there. I really believe that.
You
And,
have been saying that since they got him. You have been
yeah,
saying
I really something by that pickup. I think sometimes it's about who you're around and the team you with. He was a mess with the Jets. He was a mess with the Panthers. He was a little better than with the Jets with the Panthers. But I actually think this is a good fit for him. He's still young too, so we'll see what happens. But I want to see Trey Lance if he can get the ball down the field he got a whole house, so we need to see something for Trey Lance. It's like he's been in the league 3 years, but we ain't seen much from him.
We haven't.
Well, you said that. I mean, Kyle Shanahan is the supposed QB guru. I mean, what's going on with Trey Lance, and can he fix Sam Darnold? I mean,
I don't know.
we saw what they did with Brock Purdy last year. Pretty impressive. It looked pretty. Looked
Yeah,
pretty.
they look pretty. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, the move they made just completely backfired. So now you got to ask the question: what if they would have just kept those picks and just rolled it out with what Jimmy Garoppolo's, which ultimately is what you ended up doing until you got rid of him. So you gave up a lot of picks to move up to get Trey Lance. What if you put Fields in that situation?
Do y'all feel they have their long-term answer on the roster?
I don't. And people think I just rag on the 49ers. I just feel like similar to Buffalo, like how much longer do you think that window's just going to stay open? Especially if you don't have a quarterback.
Well, I think Buffalo's in better position than San Francisco. They got their long-term. You would think Josh Allen, but with San Francisco, it seems like it's been musical chairs with the quarterback position.
Yeah, and little by little, things have been poached off that team. Different offensive linemen have gone over the past couple years. Trent Williams is still there. He's getting older, even though he's still one of the best left tackles in football. Like I said, your defense coordinator's gone. Like, there's a lot of little things about Frisco. And then their skill position players are never healthy altogether. McCaffrey, Ayuk, Debo, Kittle every now and then. It seems like they always missing somebody. And then I think with the Raiders, man, I want to see what the coaching look like. What have you dudes been doing all summer? Because that's one of the rosters in a league where I think everybody's got talent. I look at the Raiders like, do they really have talent? Or are the Raiders going through that transition Detroit was going through 2 years ago where the cupboard is bare and you just got to get at least back-to-back quality drafts under your belt before you can really make an evaluation on a team? Now, we've changed a lot roster-wise over the past 3 drafts. So do the Raiders – I mean, they took Tyree Wilson in the first round. That was kind of a home run swing. No one really knows what he's going to become, especially as a Raider. We don't know what type of coaching he's going to get there. They've been busting out on a lot of players recently. Now, granted, that was under the John Gruden era, which a lot of other stuff was going on then. But yeah, I want to see what is the talent that they have acquired over this past 5-6 months. What does it look like? And what have you spent the past 5 months grooming them to go out there and do tonight?
And I believe I saw an update, but I have not been able to keep up with it. But Devontae Adams looks like he is hurt or was hurt recently.
Got hurt in joint practices, but they say it's something minor. That's what they say.
Oh, they still are very scary. Harv, what do you
feel for him though? Like just a few months ago, Derek Carr was there. Like you were traded there because you thought you were going to win. Like
with your best friend, right?
Oh man.
Now for me, man, I think. I'm not going to beat a dead horse anymore, but everybody's correct on the Niners position. I don't think their quarterback is long-term in the building at all whatsoever. So they got issues there. But for the Raiders, it just kind of seems, Walt took the words right out of my mouth. When have they really built a team through the draft that makes them competitive? Like that, it's almost like you can only blame a couple of people for this because at the end of the day, this is the thing. I mean, combined, right? Just keep adding pieces every year. It's the ownership. The ownership has never changed, but they keep changing general managers and coaches, and they don't have the right people in the building to make this team competitive, in my opinion.
So let me ask you a quick question. Who was the last great Raider they drafted? Was it Charles Woodson? Last great Raider.
Probably Charles Woodson. And then before that, I would 97? Probably say Tim. No, not even.
Because, that was what, the 97. No, well, the Charles Woodson draft was 97.
Yeah. But I'm saying, that's what I'm saying. Like, they really, for a long time, have not been consistent putting together great. And it doesn't have to be one draft. I mean, consecutively solid players all the way around. And it seems like it's the Raiders. Like, So to me, I just want to see this group of rookies and what they're going to do. Are they going to be the basis, the foundation of the future? Because I haven't heard anything about Michael Mayer.
Yeah, neither have
Re-
I.
really, and so I don't know, man. I don't know if they have the actual staff overall to make this team better. So I don't
It
know
hurts.
yeah, I want to see what young talent this rookie class can do. Just for that simple fact that it's been a long time since they've really been able to put it together.
Well, I mean, the last time they had an actual GM that was concentrated on putting a team together, it was Reggie McKenzie, and it looked like he was on the right path as far as
And
Khalil.
I didn't understand that either, man. I really didn't understand that, and they let him go. So I don't know, man. To me, it's the constant has been ownership.
That
Coaches and staff has been in
Yeah,
and
I
out.
mean, they listen. As much as we all love the Raiders and want to see the Raiders as a quality program in the NFL, they've been the Cleveland Browns. Let's be honest. If before
Ooh.
before the Browns finally started to get it together and land some actually good solid drafts, they would blow like 8, 9 straight drafts. And that's what the Raiders been doing. It's like it's a disease, man. And I saw it as a Detroit Lions fan where you watch the GM blow 3 straight drafts. None of your picks make the team over a 2 year period. And it cripples the organization. It cripples the fan base because as a fan base, you have nothing to look forward to if all of your picks stink on a year-to-year basis. Think about how far back the Browns set that team when they had that year. Who did they take that year? They missed on all 3 of their first round picks that year. Was it the Manziel year? Because I know they took Justin Gilbert at like number 7
They
overall.
took Menzel, Gil. Just they did take Justin Gilbert that year, was it? The corner,
I think they took him 7th overall or something.
yeah,
They
and
and
then
they
they
took him
took
high as hell.
they got Menzel too.
Yeah, and they whiffed on like their first 3 picks. There, you take into account drafting guys like Corey Coleman in the top 10, and they missed on a lot of guys. They missed on a lot of quarterbacks, first round, second rounds, third rounds,
Well, I
and
mean,
it cripples everything.
I think definitely that Mike Mayock and of course John Gruden era that they really they really
That draft,
they really fumbled
yeah,
the draft picks. Yeah, and we see what you're talking about, and that's the importance, right? I mean, you got so many teams that are drafting, developing very well at a very fast pace. The Kansas City Chiefs, I mean, they pretty much put together an offensive line that could protect Patrick Mahomes and give him more time than what he needs, and they were able to do that in one season. And so we'll see, man. Like you said, the Raiders are a very storied franchise. So does the 49ers. It should be an interesting game. Should be a dogfight, if anything. Um, but let's see how it goes from there. Other than that, I mean, we got one more last thing before we get off, man. We're doing a fantasy football league. It's on full time fantasy. It'll be Kendo,
yeah.
Javier, and myself. Walt doesn't like
I'll be
fantasy
here
football.
for advice.
Yes,
I'll be handing out free advice.
he already watches way too much football. So for the people that don't know, I mean, he's our the main go to guy as far as the scouting here on East West Football. So I mean, he does a ton of watch of you know.
Yeah,
Not
college
only
is
that,
starting really soon
that's
too.
what I'm saying. Not only the
Yeah,
NFL all 22, but you're watching college all year round. So I mean, it's just one of those things. So we understand why you're not in the league, but the rest of us are. And if you go to full time fantasy, right? The link is the link down below, Harv?
No, I can put it on there though.
Okay, cool. So we'll put the link on there. We can add the link on there, and it'll take you there. You just scroll down. You gotta okay. You do gotta create a profile, right? And then of course, it's gonna be $50. It's a 12-man league PPR. So we got 9 spots left, and if you guys want to take us on, man, you got some heavy hitters. I'll tell you this: Harv's is a 3-time champ. Uh, I've held many trophies recently.
and this gonna be my first year officially playing, so I'm new to it. So I can't wait to get into it.
if you want to be a part of this league, it's gonna be fun. We will go live while as we're doing it, and hopefully we can get your insights, and hopefully you can hear you guys, and we can just come together, have some fun. I believe the date is September
3rd.
the 3rd, and it's gonna be at 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern. I believe that's
Yes,
what we have.
sir.
So we have locked in. So if you actually the link when you see it, click on the link, and once you create your profile, go ahead and scroll down where what was the name? It was a tab. It was my team.
Beat East West.
Correct. And then you'll see there's gonna be several leagues that you can join, but just go down. I think we're like the 10th one down, because they have bigger leagues, right? This is just 50. This is a $50 league. They have some that are 350. If you guys are interested in that, you gotta let us know, man. Let us know. And then from there, um, we're gonna play some fantasy football this year together. Let me see what he says. Dwight says I could probably take all rookies and still beat you guys. All right, Dwight.
Come on, Dwight.
Hopefully you join, man. Hopefully you join, and hopefully if you're watching this on the replay, I hope we're able to get it. Hopefully Dwight, you're gonna be the fourth member on there, and we'll need 8 more, guys. So yeah, that's what we have. That's what we have lined up next. So other than that, that's it for us, man. Did you guys have anything else you want to drop before we head on out?
Nah, I'm good. We
I'm
appreciate
just happy.
it.
I'm just happy it's back, man. I'm just happy it's back.
Yes, sir.
I'm with you on that
I'm
one.
happy that, I think both leagues, I think both conferences are wide open. That may sound crazy with the defending champs, Chiefs over there, but I think all of these teams, everybody's got talent. I think the playing field is so level now that the margin for error is so slim. Chiefs, 1 or 2 injuries away, or a Chris Jones not showing up for a game or two or whatnot, and deciding he wants to be traded. Like, everybody's good fortune runs out. Anybody can have, that's what makes football so special. Every single game matters. We went from a 16 game to a 17 game season. Every single game matters. Every week matters in football. And we're in a season where we got 17 games now, and starting 0-3, 0-3, 0-2 could all but bury you. I don't understand why coming back from 0-2 is so detrimental to teams out of a 16 game season, which is what we used to play by. But yeah, starting 0-2, it's a death sentence.
Well, we're not ready to give any predictions just yet, right? Because we're still in technically it's the first week of preseason, but we'll definitely check back with you guys on Sunday, man. Walt, if you guys want to keep up with Walt, where do they find you?
If you're a Detroit Lions fan, that's Detroit Lions Avenue on YouTube. Handle at the Lions Ave.
Endo
Ken's Pat Talk Patriot Podcast, weekly live stream podcast. Check me out.
and Javier.
You already know me and Jerry, man. At the Cowboys Cast everywhere: Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, the Cowboys Cast, Facebook. Join, man. Follow.
Yeah, and of course East West football, man. But all of us, like I said, we're all coming together and we're doing this. Just so you guys that don't know, we're from the East Coast all the way to the West Coast, everything in between, man. So that's how the whole name came apart, came together, and that's what we're doing, man. And so we're really trying to build up this brand. So if you can, make sure you hit that subscribe button on the actual East West football. And then of course, if you guys love our content, individual content, go out there and help us grow those channels up to 1,000. Some of us are very close, man. So if you can just help us, man, and then don't forget about that full-time fantasy. But that's it for us, man. We will see you guys next Sunday.